couples therapists. Without breaking confidentiality, what are some relationships that instantly set off red flags, and do you try and get them to work out? I've been doing couples therapy for 8 years now, and most of the time I can spot the real problems within the first session. But Caroline and Brent fooled me for almost 3 weeks. They walked into my office looking like something out of a magazine. Designer clothes, perfect smiles, holding hands like newlyweds. Brent pulled out Caroline's chair for her. She thanked him with this sweet little laugh. I thought, wow, these two just need some communication tweaks. Caroline started talking about losing her job last month. She worked in marketing for 12 years before getting laid off. Her voice got shaky when she said she felt like a failure. I watched Brent rub her shoulder and thought he was being supportive. Then he opened his mouth. Yeah, that's why she's been such a lately, he said with this smirk. She feels useless because she can't contribute anymore. Caroline's face went white. She stared at her hands while he kept talking. I mean, I already pay for everything now. The mortgage, her car payment, groceries. What else does she want from me? I suggested that maybe Brent could try being more emotionally supportive during this tough time. He actually laughed and leaned back in his chair like I'd told a joke. Doc, I'm already carrying this whole relationship financially. That should be enough support. Caroline whispered something about feeling overwhelmed, and Brent cut her off. See, this is what I deal with every day. She's always overwhelmed about something. That's when I started paying closer attention. The next session, Caroline mentioned that she'd been having panic attacks. Before she could finish explaining, Brent interrupted. Remember what you told me about your mom? How she used to lock herself in the bathroom crying. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree, right? Caroline looked like she'd been slapped. I asked Brent why he brought up something so personal and painful. I'm just being honest. If she can't handle the truth, that's her problem, not mine. I started seeing a pattern. Every time Caroline shared something vulnerable, Brent would twist it into ammunition. When she talked about struggling with self-doubt, he'd mention how she always needs validation. When she said she missed having friends, he'd bring up how she drove everyone away with her neediness. The worst part was how he'd reference things she'd shared in previous sessions, personal stuff about her childhood, her insecurities, her fears. He'd just casually dropped these private confessions to embarrass her in front of me. I realized Brent hadn't come to fix their relationship. He'd come to win it. During our fourth session, I asked Caroline to come in alone first. That's when the Rayal story came out. He told me we needed therapy because I was getting crazy after losing my job, she said. But now he uses everything I say here against me. At home, she explained how Brent would quote me to manipulate her. He'd say things like, even the therapist thinks you overreact to everything. Or, remember what Doc said about taking responsibility? None of which I'd actually said. It's like he brought me here to have a witness to all my problems. Caroline said, he records some of our sessions on his phone when you're not looking. Then he plays them back when we fight. I was horrified. I confronted Brent about this. The next week when they came in together, Caroline feels like you're using therapy to prove she's the problem instead of working on solutions together, Brent shrugged. If the shoe fits, therapy isn't about keeping score, I explained. It's about mutual respect and growth. He rolled his eyes like I was some naive kid. Look, Doc, I came here because she threatened to leave me. I figured if a professional could show her how unreasonable she's being, she'd finally get it. Caroline was staring at the floor, her hands clenched in her lap. So, you never intended to work on the relationship? I asked, what's to work on? I provide for her. I don't cheat. I don't hit her. She's the one with issues. 2 weeks later, Caroline showed up alone. I left him, she said simply. After our last session, I realized he never wanted to fix anything. He just wanted to win. It's like he loved having an audience for my mistakes. She looked lighter somehow, less tense. You know what finally did it? He started recording our private conversations at home, too. Said he needed evidence of my crazy behavior for our next session. Caroline had packed her stuff and moved in with her sister while Brent was at work. She left a note explaining that therapy wasn't supposed to be used as a weapon. I've been doing couples therapy for 8 years now, and usually, I can spot the underlying issues within the first session. But Caroline and Brent? They fooled me for almost 3 weeks. They walked in looking like a picture-perfect couple, designer clothes, dazzling smiles, holding hands like honeymooners. Brent even pulled out Caroline's chair, kissed her cheek lightly, and she laughed, this sweet, delicate sound that made me think, Wow. These two just need better communication tools. Easy fix. Caroline went first. She spoke about losing her job last month. Marketing had been her career for 12 years. Her voice cracked when she admitted she felt like a failure. I watched Brent rub her shoulder, nodding, and I thought, supportive. Husband, good sign. Then Brent opened his mouth. Yeah, he said with a smirk. That's why she's been such a mess lately. She feels useless now that she's not contributing. Caroline froze. She stared down at her hands, twisting her wedding ring. Brent leaned back casually. I mean, I pay for everything now. The mortgage, her car payment, groceries. What else does she want from me? I suggested gently. Brent, maybe what Caroline needs isn't financial support right now. It's emotional reassurance. He laughed. Doc, I'm already carrying this relationship financially. That's more than enough support, isn't it? Caroline whispered something about feeling overwhelmed. Brent cut her off. See, this is what I deal with every day. She's always overwhelmed by something. That's when my gut started to twist. Something was off. Caroline mentioned panic attacks. Brent interrupted immediately. Remember what you told me about your mom? He said loudly. How she used to lock herself in the bathroom crying. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree, huh? Caroline flinched like he'd slapped her. Brent, I said carefully. Why would you bring that up in this context? That's deeply personal. He shrugged. I'm just being honest. If she can't handle the truth, that's her problem. A pattern was forming. Every vulnerability Caroline shared, Brent weaponized. If she spoke about loneliness, he'd remind her she drove all her friends away. If she voiced insecurities, he called her needy. He even referenced private details she'd trusted me with, casually dropping them in to humiliate her in front of me. It hit me like a brick. Brent wasn't here to fix their marriage. He was here to win. By session 4, I asked Caroline to come alone first. That's when it all came spilling out. He told me we needed therapy because I was getting crazy after losing my job, she said, her voice trembling. But now he uses everything I say here against me at home. He quotes you, too, twisting it. He'll say, even the therapist thinks you overreact. Or, remember what Doc said about responsibility? You never said those things. She swallowed hard. And he records sessions on his phone when you're not looking. Then he plays them back during fights. It's like therapy is his trophy, proof that I'm the problem. My stomach sank. Next session, I confronted Brent. Caroline feels you're using therapy to keep score, not solve issues. He smirked. If the shoe fits. Therapy isn't about scoring points, I said firmly. It's about respect, empathy, and growth. Brent rolled his eyes. Doc, I'm here because she threatened to leave. I figured if you could show her how unreasonable she is, she'd finally get it. Caroline stared at the floor, hands shaking in her lap. So you never actually intended to work on your relationship? I asked. Brent leaned back smugly. What's there to work on? I provide for her. I don't cheat. I don't hit her. She's the one with issues. 2 weeks later, Caroline walked in alone. I left him, she said simply, but her voice carried relief like I'd never heard. After that last session, she continued, I realized he wasn't coming here to save our marriage. He just wanted an audience for my mistakes. He even started recording our private conversations at home as evidence for therapy. Her face softened. That was it. I packed my stuff while he was at work and moved in with my sister. I left him a note saying therapy isn't supposed to be used as a weapon. I looked at her, lighter, freer, almost glowing despite the pain. She smiled faintly. You know what's funny? I thought therapy was going to save our marriage. Instead, it saved me. That's the thing about couples therapy. Sometimes it's not about bringing two people closer. It's about giving one of them the clarity, courage, and permission to walk away. Story 2, she said. Ugh, you're like a clingy puppy. It's disgusting. When I surprised her with flowers. At work, I said woof. Then I started fetching someone else's attention. She begged like a dog when she saw me proposing to her coworker 6 months later. I, 29, male, was with Veronica, 28, for about 3 years. Lived together for one. Last Valentine's Day changed everything and not in the romantic way I'd planned. See, Veronica worked at this marketing firm downtown. Always complained about how stressful it was, how her boss was demanding, how she never had time to breathe. So, I thought I'd brighten her day. Went to the nice florist, not the grocery store. Got a bouquet of yellow roses, her favorites, with baby's breath. Nothing huge or obnoxious, just thoughtful. Drove to her office building around lunchtime. Figured I'd surprise her and maybe take her to that Thai place she loved. Reception knew me. I'd picked her up plenty of times. They waved me through with smiles. Took the elevator to the third floor. Walked through the open office space toward her desk. She was standing by the coffee machine with a group of coworkers laughing about something. Perfect timing, I thought. When she saw me, her face changed. Not in a good way. What are you doing here? Not hi, honey, or what a surprise, just accusation. Brought you these, I said, holding out the flowers. Thought we could grab lunch. The entire area went quiet like that scene in movies where the record scratches. Veronica's face went from surprise to disgusted. Actually disgusted. Like I was holding a dead rat instead of roses. Are you serious right now? She looked around at her coworkers, then back at me. I'm at work, Garrett. I know. I just thought. Ah, you're like a clingy puppy. It's disgusting. She said it loud, clear in front of everyone. What kind of grown man shows up at someone's job with flowers like some desperate teenager? My face burned. Could feel everyone staring. This woman next to her later learned her name was Iris. Actually winced. I was trying to do something nice. I managed. Nice. This is embarrassing. You're embarrassing me. What? You couldn't wait until I got home? Had to mark your territory in front of everyone. Mark my Veronica their flowers. God, just go. Please, before security thinks you're some stalker. I stood there for maybe 3 seconds. Felt like 3 hours. Then I set the flowers on the nearest desk, turned around, and walked out. Woof, I said as I passed her. Quiet enough that only she heard. Didn't look back. Didn't run. Just walked to the elevator, wrote it down, got in my car, and drove home. Packed while she was at work. Not dramatically, methodically. My clothes, my Xbox, my kitchen stuff. I did all the cooking anyway. My books. Left all the furniture. It was mostly hers or bought together. Didn't want the arguments. Moved back. To my apartment. I'd kept it and rented it out. Lease was up anyway. Lucky timing. She got home around 7. The text started at 7:03. Where are you? Where's your stuff? Are you seriously throwing a tantrum about earlier? This is so childish. I was just stressed. You can't just leave. Garrett, answer your phone. Sent one text back. You were right. I was being a clingy puppy. Fixed it. Then I blocked her number. That should have been the end. Clean break. Move on. Lesson learned about public humiliation. But Veronica had other plans. Update 1. So after I moved out, expected Veronica to rage for a bit, then move on. She had too much pride to chase after a clingy puppy. Right. Wrong. First week, she went through the stages. Anger. Showed up at my apartment, banging on the door, bargaining, sent emails about how we could work through this depression. Posted sad quotes on Instagram. Denial. Told mutual friends we were taking a break. But when none of that worked, she got creative. Started showing up places she knew I'd be. The gym, the coffee shop I went to every Saturday, even my buddy Jerome's birthday party. She hated Jerome when we dated, each time with the same energy. Oh, what a coincidence. Like I was supposed to forget she called me disgusting in front of her entire office. The real kicker was when she started revising history. Told people I abandoned her because she asked for space at work. No mention of the puppy comment, the public humiliation, nothing. Just poor Veronica, victim of her boyfriend's fragile ego. I stayed quiet, didn't correct anyone, just kept living. Then something interesting happened. Got a LinkedIn message from someone named Iris Walton. Took me a second to place the name. The woman who'd winced during Veronica's performance. Hi, Garrett. Not sure if you remember me from Valentine's Day. I wanted to apologize for not speaking up. That was awful to witness. Nobody deserved that, especially not someone bringing flowers. Hope you're doing well. I stared at that message for a while. Someone from that office actually thought Veronica was wrong. Replied, thanks, Iris. No need to apologize. Wasn't your circus? I'm doing great, actually. Hope the office drama has died down. She responded, huh, if only. Let's just say that wasn't the first time she's been difficult. Anyway, glad you're well. Take care. We messaged back and forth a bit. Nothing deep, just casual conversation. She seemed cool, funny, normal. Asked if I still like that type place. Mentioned she'd been wanting to try it. I know this is random. I wrote, but would you want to grab lunch there sometime? As friends, I promise not to bring flowers. She sent back a laughing emoji. Only if you promise not to call me disgusting if I do. We met that Thursday. Just lunch, just talking. Found out she was a graphic designer, loved horror movies, had a cat named Salami. She told me about the office dynamics, how Veronica had a reputation for being harsh, but got away with it because she brought in clients. That day, though, Iris shook her head. Even people who usually agreed with her were uncomfortable. You bringing flowers became this whole thing. Half the office thought it was sweet, and the other half thought she had a point about professional boundaries, but agreed she handled it badly. Badly. That's one way to put it. We laughed, kept talking. Lunch turned into coffee. Coffee turned into we should do this again. Started meeting up regularly. Still just friends. I wasn't trying to rush into anything, and she was respectful of that. We bonded over movies, shared memes, grabbed food when we were both free. Then Veronica found out. Don't know how. Maybe. She still had a spy in the office. Maybe she saw us somewhere. But one night, Iris texted me. So your ex just confronted me in the bathroom at work. Called her immediately. What happened? She cornered me. Said I was violating girl code by hanging out with you. I told her there was no code for publicly humiliating someone. She didn't like that. I'm sorry. I didn't think she'd owe. I'm not done. She then told me you were obsessive, controlling, and that's why she had to set boundaries that day. I asked if bringing flowers was controlling. She said I didn't understand the full context. What did you do? Told her the full context was witnessed by 30 people and it wasn't a good look for her. Then I left. Iris, I don't want to cause problems. At your work. Garrett, stop. She doesn't get to dictate who I'm friends with. Plus, HR already has a file on her for other stuff. This just added to it. Other stuff? Interesting. That weekend, Veronica escalated, showed up at the coffee shop, where Iris and I were sitting, walked right up to our table. Really? She said, looking between us. This is what you're doing now. Hi, Veronica, I said calmly. We're having coffee. I can see that. How long has this been going on? Having coffee about an hour. Don't be cute. You know what I mean? Iris spoke up. We're friends, Veronica. Is that a problem? Friends, right? Is that what you're calling it? Yes, I said. That's literally what we're calling it. Because that's what it is. Veronica laughed bitter. God, you really are like a puppy already following someone new around. What did you bring her flowers to? No. Learn my lesson about that. Her face twitched. I was having a bad day and you chose to handle it by humiliating me in public. That was your choice. Living with the consequences is also your choice. Consequences? What consequences? You left. Yes, that was the consequence. She stood there, mouth opening and closing like a fish. Then looked at Iris. Good luck with this one. He's exhausting, needy, clingy, probably already planning your wedding. In his head, Iris sipped her coffee. Sounds better than someone who insults their partner in public. Veronica stormed off. Posted later about fake friends and loyalty on her Instagram story. That night, Iris texted, so that was fun. I'm really sorry about that. Stop apologizing for her behavior. But question, yeah, are you planning our wedding in your head? Because I'd like input on the cake. I laughed so hard I scared my neighbor's dog. We weren't dating. Not yet. But maybe. Final update. Okay, so a lot has happened since the coffee shop confrontation. Buckle up. First, Iris and I did start dating. Took it slow, made sure we were both in it for the right reasons. She was patient, understanding, and absolutely roasted me for my taste in movies. I like action films. Sue me. The thing about Iris was she saw the flower incident happen. She knew exactly who I was at my corniest, most romantic, trying too hard self. And she still wanted to know me. Wild. Meanwhile, Veronica was spiraling. After the coffee shop thing, she started a campaign at work about how Iris betrayed women supporting women by dating her ex. Problem was, nobody really cared. Turns out, when you publicly humiliate your boyfriend, people remember that. Then came the performance reviews. See, what I didn't know when we were together was that Veronica had been skating on thin ice at work for a while. The flower incident was just one example of her leadership style that involved belittling people. She'd done it to interns, junior employees, even a few clients. Iris told me, without breaking confidentiality, that HR had been documenting complaints. The flower incident witnessed by everyone was apparently discussed as an example of creating a hostile work environment. Veronica's review came back with needs improvement in interpersonal skills and must complete sensitivity training. She was furious. Posted on LinkedIn about toxic workplaces that don't support strong women. But here's where she really messed up. She started trying to sabotage Iris at work. Nothing obvious, just little things. Forgetting to include her in emails, scheduling meetings when she knew Iris was out, taking credit for joint projects, petty stuff. Iris documented everything. Every email, every meeting, every instance. Girl had receipts like CVS. 3 months into dating Iris, I knew she was special. Not because she was the opposite of Veronica, but because she was completely herself. She brought me soup when I was sick. She listened to my boring work stories. She made fun of my apartment's bachelor pad aesthetic and then helped me pick out throw pillows. I started thinking about the future. Like really thinking about it. For months in, went ring shopping. Not because I was rushing, but because when, you know, you know, found a simple solitaire that reminded me of her. Elegant, unfussy, perfect. 5 months in, Veronica got transferred to a different department. Officially, it was a lateral move for developmental opportunities. Unofficially, everyone knew it was because she couldn't work professionally with Iris. The new department was accounts payable from client F facing marketing to spreadsheets. She blamed me, of course. Sent an email to my work address inside. Blocked her everywhere else about how I'd ruined her career and turned everyone against her. Didn't respond. Just forwarded it to HR at her company since contacting me violated some policy Iris had mentioned. 6 months in, last week was Iris's birthday. Planned something special. Not huge. She hates being the center of attention. Just dinner at that Thai place where we had our first lunch. Then a walk in the park where they had this light installation she'd been wanting to see. Told her I needed to tie my shoe. Dropped to one knee instead. Iris, you've made the last 6 months better than the last 3 years. You've shown me what it's like to be with someone who actually likes me. Public flowers and all. Will you marry me? She said yes. Cried a little. Made a joke about hoping I brought her flowers this time. I had them waiting in the car. We took a selfie with the ring. Posted it the next day. Sweet simple announcement. Lots of congrats from friends and family. Then Monday happened. Walked into Iris's office building to take her to lunch. Same building. Same receptionist who'd witnessed the flower incident. She grinned when she saw me. Flowers today? She asked. In the car, I admitted learned to check first. Took the elevator up. As the doors opened on the third floor, there was Veronica. In the marketing department with a visitor's badge, we locked eyes. She saw the flowers in my hand. Okay, I lied to reception Sumi. Her face went through several emotions. Then she saw Iris walking toward me. Left hand extended to show off her ring to a coworker. The look on Veronica's face, the absolute shock, the rage, the disbelief. She marched over. Are you kidding me? Hi, Veronica, I said. Here for a meeting. You're engaged to her? Yes, it's been 6 months. 6 good months, Iris added, taking the flowers. Thanks, babe. These are beautiful. You're welcome. Ready for lunch. Veronica wasn't done. This is insane. You barely know each other. We know enough, I said. You brought her flowers at work. Yes, like a clingy puppy. Woof. Her face went red. This is you did this on purpose. You pursued her to get back at me. Iris laughed. Actually, I messaged him first and pursued him if we're being technical. This whole thing is probably illegal. Workplace harassment. Emotional distress. Security appeared. Apparently, visitor badges don't include yelling privileges. As they escorted her out, she turned back. He'll bring you flowers one time and then show his true colors. He's needy, clingy, exhausting. Iris called out. Good. I like attention. The whole office applauded. Actually applauded. Later found out Veronica was there to interview for her old position. They'd been desperate enough to consider bringing her back despite the transfer. The hiring manager told Iris they'd be going in a different direction. That night, Veronica posted a long rant on Facebook about karma and fake people and how some people can't handle successful women. Nobody engaged. Even her mom just posted AA emoji. We're getting married next spring. Small ceremony, family, and close friends. The receptionist from the building already asked if she's invited. She is. Veronica's still in accounts payable. Still single, according to mutual friends. Still posting inspirational quotes about knowing your worth and not settling. Iris brings me flowers now, too. Sometimes, usually at home, but once at my office, just to be funny. My coworkers think we're adorable. Turns out when someone actually likes you, they don't mind if you're a clingy puppy. They just buy you a collar and call you theirs. Woof woof.